if anyone has any
Hands up.
burning...
You were first in the queue,
Yes.
so you've definitely earned the right.
I'd really, really like to know what went wrong with Aragon the movie.
Okay, that's enough questions.
Sorry.
No question. I totally understand it. Let me say this. I'm very happy that Aragon was adapted into a movie because very few books ever are made into movies, and you know, I was extremely fortunate with that. And the film introduced many new readers to the series, and for that I'm extremely grateful. You know, I offered as much input as I could during the creation of the film, but ultimately the movie reflected the vision of the studio and the filmmakers, just as the book reflects my vision of the story. And of course, everyone's free to enjoy both on their own terms. So, does that answer your question?
Sort of.
Alright.
Very diplomatic.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've had some practice.
Anyone else? Let's see some hands.
Anyone else? Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm here. My little brother, he's just want to tell that he comes from Canary Island all the way to here just to see you and meet you. And he,
Wow.
well, you tell him that he won't try to himself.
Oh, wow. Oh, I'll have to see. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm taking that home with me to Montana. That will go on one of my bookcases, right where I work. It's a little top heavy. So there we go. There we go. Thank you.
Time for one or two more? Anyone? Gentleman way back there.
How do you keep your momentum going? How do you promote writer's block? And how do you stop yourself from saying, oh, this is too long, I'm going to keep going?
Oh boy, that is a great question. How do I keep the momentum going? How do I avoid writer's block? I'd say it's a couple of things. One, with any long project, you sort of have to accept that you're not going to be excited about it every single day along the way. So you just sort of plan for that. And what I do is I plot out my story in pretty great detail before I actually start writing it. And that allows me to avoid getting stuck on the page saying, okay, what happens next? So that's a big one for me. The next one is making sure that I take regular breaks if possible. So, you know, take walks, be with my family, sort of, you know, rejuvenate my creative energies whenever I can. And then lastly, it's writing about things I'm really interested in. And, you know, I like dragons. I like battles and magic swords and dwarves and elves and that sort of thing. So I'm happy to write about it on a daily basis. And then again, I'm just very persistent with it. So I just sit down every day and I write as much as I can, even if I'm not necessarily feeling thrilled about it that particular day. So maybe two more questions here.
Lady here.
Yes.
Why was Inheritance your favorite book? Why did you enjoy writing it?
Why was Inheritance my favorite book? Probably because it's the end of the series, and well, my latest book is usually my favorite book, just because I try to improve as a writer, and I think I was able to do some things in this book that I couldn't do before. And two, it is the end of the story, and there's a lot of neat stuff that happens in it, so I'm very proud of it. It's a very intense book, too. Yes?
So what comes after Inheritance? Like, what's in store for, like, the readers?
What comes after Inheritance?
Holiday.
A holiday. Well, I have set up in the book, in Brissinger Inheritance, I've set up the framework for several more stories within Aragon's world, if I ever wish to return to it. But the immediate future, I'm probably going to write a bunch of other stories that I've had locked up in my head for the past 10 years. So I have some science fiction that I want to write, fantasy, mystery, thriller, horror, romance, you name it, I want to try it. Probably my next project's going to be science fiction. Don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be my next project.
One more.
All right.
What? Frenzied arm over there. You waving your. No? Yes, you. Yeah.
I was wondering, what books inspired you to write, and any recommendations?
Any recommendations and what books inspired me to write? How long do you have? Well, let's start with the big ones. Lord of the Rings, of course. Dragon Riders of Pern by Anne McCaffrey. Magician and Sequels by Raymond E. Feist. The Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn Trilogy by Tad Williams. Go read it if you haven't. Wizard of Earthsea and the Two Sequels by Ursula K. Le Guin. The Mabinogian Tetralogy by Evangeline Walton. Top 10 for me. Very good. Dune by Frank Herbert. the Hyperion series by Dan Simmons, the Gormenghast trilogy by Mervyn Peake, the Worm Ouroboros by E.R. Edison, the Redwall series by Brian Jakes, Andre Norton, the Pit Dragon trilogy by David Nolan, all of David Eddings pretty much, except for some of the later books. Let's see.
I hope somebody recorded all that.
Let's see. Am I flattening out? Am I forgetting someone? I know I'm forgetting some authors, but that's a good one. If you like my books and you're looking for something more, I'd recommend The Magician, The Wizard of Earthsea, and then the Tad Williams Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn trilogy. And read those, and that's a good start. And there's many more to explore after that. So, all right.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming. And
couple of things. Well, thank you very much. First of all.
And let's sign some books.
Okay. 3 points. One is, I hope you can all remember how to get back into the line you're all in. So I don't want any undignified fights on the shop floor. Second point is there's a clipboard going